Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Belegian.
This is what ticks me off. All right, this is what ticks me off. You come out all three games. All right, it's been the same script. All right, Edmonton comes out flying, then Florida answers, and you ruined what could have been a very, very good first period with those early ticky-tack calls. I mean, now there's so many other things that happened in that magical first period. It was a very magical first period for one Darnell Nurse, and we'll get to that in a second. But my goodness gracious, you guys, I'm that's shit. I'm sorry, it's shit.
It brought the entire period to a screeching halt. Edmonton came out flying. Hubie, me, you were going back and forth on Florida was buzzing. Looked like we were going to have another good period. Edmonton rips off 8 shots and then 7 power plays.
7 power plays in one period. Stanley Cup Finals
period.
This is, and like we were talking about this the whole period, you guys. By the way, hi, Eric. Hi, Man Bun Chris. I love that name. Hello, friends. Jason up in Escanaba. David said penalties putting them behind. Going to the doctor tomorrow. Follow up on my knee. Good luck with that, Eric. Here's the problem. You put yourself in a hole early in the period when you make, in particular, those first 2 ticky-tack calls. Because, and Mike, you put it best, you're going to have ample opportunity to call something. When you have the physicality that's going on, if that's what you want to do, you're going to have the opportunity. I just saw that. That was unbelievable. What the hell was that? You're, you know, a high stick, you got to call it. Puck getting cleared out of the zone, you got to call it. That whole period was bogged down. It's a shame. I don't like to bash on officials. I think it's low-hanging fruit. That was an awful first period.
The only thing to take out of it was the PKs looked good up until that power play goal by Florida where Edmonton just got out of position and a nice bumper pass. Rodriguez over to Verhaeghe, who just has a cannon. But other than that, they were doing well. Both PKs were doing well. So I think you can take out of that period.
Hit on Verhaeghe, anytime goal scorer at 2:30. Missed on him being the first goal scorer because of the rat. You hit on a couple already, right? Or just one?
No, just the one. Bouchard over 2.5 shots is easy money, right?
Eric says, "What's up, guys?" By the way, Mike, Coach, Hubie, Sean, how you guys doing? Darnell Nurse.
It kind of reminds me.
Maybe we should leave this up to
from last year.
Oiler fan Mike to chime in. Maybe he'll chime in on this guy.
Gosh. So if you remember, the much maligned Darnell Nurse, he was awful last year. And then all of a sudden, it almost looked like it was a confidence thing. Like, honestly, like he started playing well. We were all laughing. The first thing that burst out of my mouth in real time, we didn't even have to wait for the replay, is I said to the group, like, what the fuck was Darnell Nurse doing? And, like, literally, I mean, that's not even passenger. And at the end, like you pointed out, what the hell was Skinner doing? And Skinner's trying to push Nurse out of the way. That's the funniest. Like, it's almost like, yeah, I screwed up too, but you get out of the way so I can just screw up on myself. Just struggling all first period. No other way to say it, fellas.
Yeah, exactly. He looked like his -19 from last
year. Yeah.
He moonwalked out of that goal after dipping somehow behind the net for some odd reason. And his partner didn't help him out. Klingberg was doing something out of there too. But hopefully the story right now is the refs got to put the whistles away. Call only what you have to. Developing a scoring chance or taking a scoring chance away. The high stakes we get, and let's just go, because look how entertaining this could be.
Yeah. See, and this is what I come back to. When you're talking about 2 teams of this caliber, okay, there is no rhyme or reason to this series. For a few minutes, you'll think, okay, this is Florida's. Look at Florida doing. Then Edmonton comes roaring back and plays like Edmonton. and everybody knows Edmonton is the king of digging themselves out of holes. Even though the Habs tried to mimic them late in the season, if you remember, they're the king of. But there's no rhyme or reason to this series, and that's why I can definitively say after the first period of play in the third period, I bet if you're an Oiler fan right now, you're feeling a little down in anything. This thing's far from over. I mean, when you're talking about two teams like this, there's no rhyme. I feel guilty almost handing the cup to Florida, though, or to Edmonton a couple nights ago. I do. I feel almost guilty about it now because there's no rhyme or reason when you have two teams like this.
They get start period fresh ice 2-minute power play. Lundell's in the box.
Yeah.
Now, did you know the fresh ice has been proven to not matter on the power play? They did an actual study on that.
Did they really?
Because we say it all the time. Oh, they're going to get fresh.
Or they make a big deal about it too. They get a minute and a half on fresh ice.
So the only rhyme and reason I'll say, Sean, and this is why I think Edmonton fans should be scared, and we said this, I think, before this series started, was this is really coming down to Bob and Skinner. And both goalies have given their teams a chance in all these games and in this period. Mm-hmm. I mean, Edmonton's been all over Bob, and he's been making the save. Not only making the saves, he'll be making himself in position to make shots difficult to where they're missing nets, right?
And Nugent Hopkins.
Yes. So now the reason I say Edmonton, Skinner, I mean, he's playing good, but Skinner, that's the two consistents that are really, you can say, these goalies are playing
Are playing very well, yeah. They're giving, like you said, giving each of their teams a chance.
I forgot to share these, so I'm give me a second. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Overriding factor in this first period, in case you're just joining us, it was an absolute shit show. It's a shame that the officials have to I don't know, make their voices be heard as much as they would. These are, in my mind, the two best teams. Let them play hockey. I'm sorry, it just bogged down the whole gosh damn period. It was absolutely depressing. More comments from you now. Let me catch up here. Sorry, fellas. Somebody had some barbecue tips for us too. So, yeah. Jason said it was plus 1,400 on Verhaeghe scoring first. Made my money back. Plus, but could have been way better. Fucking rat. Eric asked, where's Cole being a rat someplace? Speaking of rats. Shauna remembers my betting love on Verhaeghe last year. Do you remember that? Jason hit it. Yep. Check out Lily's Hue for some dynamite sauces and seasonings. Stuff is so good, it's TNT. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not.
Why don't you?
What's it called?
Lily's Hue. Yeah, why don't you guys look that up? And we'll see what we can do. All right, Mike, thank you. I'm gonna hit this right now. First period thoughts. Hey, look, another penalty was called. I'll say something like that. All right, something sarcastic and Shaunish. First period thoughts. More penalties. That's what this game needs. Is that cool? Are you looking up that stuff right now? Lily's Q.
Lily's Q. Look at our friend Eric. He put some wings on, Sean. We were just talking about that's what we're going to be doing very soon, especially if a certain someone comes over.
We are, you know what? We got to do the kickin' chicken, which is an underrated, and I'm going to do those jerk stuff.
Yeah, I just found it too.
To Chicago.
Yeah? Can I order?
Can we road trip?
We can order online, right? Yeah, you guys look that up. Tell me if I need to do anything. And then we'll tell you what we did here tonight, because Mike and I took a road trip this past weekend. That's a story in and of itself. We could have made like a documentary about like our trip, but Edmonton needs to play more discipline, and they know it. Way too much time in the penalty box that first period. Chris, unfortunately, those first two ticky-tack penalties really set the tempo. It did. And it's unfortunate because, again, then real calls have to be made, and you get a shit show of a first period. And it was a shit show of a first period. Two teams that can move, two teams that play with tempo, two teams that want to get in deep on you, and it just got bogged down. It was shit. Stuart Patrick Claw Skinner, absolutely. Eric asked what alcohol. I think I'm the only one. I went with my long drink again. Mike, you haven't had one tonight.
I have not had one yet. I'm not saying that I'm going to get shut out, but I have not yet.
So yeah, first period was to me, I don't know what to take from it because of the penalties. Darnell Nurse is in his own head again. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Just to repeat, because again, maybe some of you are just joining us right now. Shit show with the calls. This is still anybody's series. One of my buddies who's a big Oiler fan texted me. He was like, "Gosh, damn it, series is over." I'm like, "No, man, don't do
Not
that."
even close.
This is
close.
exactly what they do. All right, so we had another sausage fest tonight. We have been on quite a sausage kick. I don't know how it happened. So we had alligator and Dewey sausage. We had hot Italian. We had jalapeno cheddar. We had pepper jack franks, which I loved. I love hot dogs. But the best one that we had by far was this lamb sausage. And you brought the little wacky sauce, the tzatziki sauce. Money. Tammy loves herself some Brad Marchand, and she said, "How about Marchand? You go to war with a guy like that."
Oh, heck yeah.
And I'm gonna say it again. And Tammy, I hope you take this with respect because I know what a Red Wing fan you are. Brad Marchand is perfect with a team like the Florida Panthers. What you're seeing out of Brad Marchand right now, I don't think you would see if he went to a quote unquote, no disrespect intended, less than team like Detroit. I don't think you'd see that. I'm not saying that it would be as pronounced as Tarasenko. All right, I'm not saying that, but I just don't think that you would see that.
No, it was a perfect fit, and shame on me. And I don't know if you want to jump in on the shame because I was all over Marchand as the year ended and how terrible he looked. He was a dead man walking. But that was part of our disrespect to Florida coming into the playoffs that they retired. So they just look. And they're everything the opposite of what we thought, and he is just playing perfect, fitting in perfect. You wouldn't even think that he was traded there. You would think he'd been there for a long period of time. The way he's
Fits in great with Listerandon and Lundell.
Right. Bury him, and no problem. He's good in his role. He's gonna respond in his role. See, Tammy's smart. She said, "I don't want Marchand here." As much as she loves Marchand, that wouldn't be a good fit here. Sorry, not at this age, not with this team.
He's the perfect fit there. Plus, he's the guy that you hate unless he's on your team. And look what he's doing with these guys in Florida.
Sean, not hockey related. If you want to comment on potential Michigan punishments, I don't know. I've heard things like everybody else, but I don't know. I think when the NC2A comes out with it, the NC2A comes out with it. You know what I mean? Dave said, hit the website shop for the sauces and rubs. Hot chicken seasoning is crazy good. I'm waiting for the ENC sauce to get back in stock. Hot chicken seasoning? That sounds something to me. Dry rub or wet rub, by the way. You guys have your choice. What do you want?
I like to dry.
Me too.
Me too. Dry rub.
Across the board. Ratman should stay in Florida. It's a perfect fit, Jimmy. How much does he have left? I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. When it starts to go real fast. But somebody forgot to tell Corey Perry that. Honestly. And the thing is, Edmonton had their chances. I mean, that opportunity, Nugent Hopkins had a third of the net to shoot at. Now, give Bob credit. He's incredibly athletic. He got over so fast, but that should have been a goal.
He still had the top half.
Yeah.
He's keeping them in there. 5-on-5, Edmonton might have been the better team out there. I mean, they were playing well. I thought Florida was skating with them, but I think 8 shots were 8-3 when Marchand scored.
Yeah. What was it? Bob stuck his head right, made the one save with his head.
Yeah. Yeah, that deflection in front. Yeah.
Who had that shot?
Your boy.
Probably Bouchard.
Yeah, your boy.
Who else?
Jason said, I will take Bennett in Detroit over Marner. So would I.
100%.
Yeah. So would I.
I don't think Bennett's going to leave Florida.
They're going to have to get very creative. They're going to have to get very creative. Is it possible? Absolutely it is. And it was funny. I saw a little exchange. I wasn't watching the show. I don't know if you saw the exchange where Bizanet made the comment about Florida and Tampa and to Gary Bettman and the advantage that they have. And Bettman said, well, what are you talking about? These are two franchises that They struggled for 17 years. And it's a situation where, you have to give credit to their front office and everything. And while I'll say, Mr. Bettman, you are not wrong. Do you know where the advantage is? Where guys like Sam Bennett. Seriously. If I'm saying, why would I leave Florida now? Why would I do that? I'm sorry. I could go to Detroit. I could. But I'm playing in Florida with no taxes, and I'm playing on a perennial flipping powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like, and like, no disrespect to Biz, that would have been my follow-up question. I would have said, Mr. Bettman, you're correct, but take a look at these guys. Do you think Steven Stamkos wanted to leave Tampa last year? He didn't want to leave Tampa. Yeah, he would have stayed there, And so that's the advantage. Yes, you're absolutely right. Kudos to first Steve Yzerman and then obviously Julian Brisbois. And kudos to a couple different general managers with Florida, but at the end of the day, it's when you're built. Then you sit back and you go, why would I leave this? Why, Whereas Marner, I mean, compare and contrast that. Why would Mitch Marner stay in Toronto? Here's a kid that was born in Toronto, feels disrespected by Toronto, which in fairness he's been a little bit of a bitch with that stuff.
He brought some of that on himself.
But why would you stay? I wouldn't stay. Oh, well, whatever. Let's see. I'm waiting to hear the outcome of the Canadian World Junior trial. Does Corey Hart have a future if found innocent? He should, right?
I mean,
but then again, Trevor Bauer's going, hi, remember me? So
right. I mean, the only my thing with it is Hart was a head case before this. I can't
That's a
see
good
him
point.
coming back just mentally.
Do you remember how good he was? Gosh damn it. Rat fits in Florida. Ray Whitney is to blame. Tammy said, sadly, if we don't get creative, we will not be getting any big names in Detroit. You are a smart fan. You are a smart fan.
Exactly right.
You are. This is the one thing that I think, especially guys in our age group, you got to get it through your head. There is no added incentive to come to Detroit. Nothing. There is nothing. There is no added incentive. I'm sorry, there isn't. Before it was this, that, or the other thing. It was the way that Mr. Illich took care of them, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody's got grade 1 facilities now for the most part. Everybody travels first class. I told these guys, like, honestly, I'm sorry. I hate to be douchey. When I traveled with the Hurricanes, it was unbelievable. I can't even explain it. I sent him the menu that night. I go,
You sent me
yeah, did I send it to you that night? Like, I was texting my buddies going, look at this fucking menu. And that didn't even count, like, what was in the middle of think about, like, our sausage plate out there. They had this giant round table in the middle of the airplane with everything on it. Like, forget the main menu. Like, you know what? I'm going to go put down about 30 wings because they're sitting on the table. There's no advantage to Detroit. And the sooner people kind of get that through their head, I think the better off their life would be, because there are still some people hanging on to that. There really, truly are. There's still some people hanging on to that.
And I think the thing on top of that, Sean, is you say get creative, or they say get creative. You got to win. If you're not winning, I don't care what you do.
Exactly.
There's no one coming. Because again, just like you said, there's no incentive to come here anymore.
Other than a money grab, why would any top free agent go to Detroit at this point in time? Jim, I just saw that. I apologize. We were just going off on that. Tammy said, not losing faith in the decisions of Mr. Yzerman, but it's getting hard to watch the lack of movement. Tammy, I think I've been consistent with this. Steve Yzerman's fault is having a collection of good players. Not enough good players, but having a collection of good players. Right now, there isn't a great player in the mix. That doesn't mean that one can't develop. And I still laugh. It seems like I ask this every show. Hubie, I guess I'll make it. Who is the Red Wings goaltender next year? Right? I know I asked you. I put you on. Like, honest to God, who's their number 1 next year? Talbot? Right? Is that what we're doing? Or is he going to hand the mantle to Mrazek? Because there's no reason to think that Sebastian Cossa would be. No. That's a little frightening right now. There's no doubt about that. We'll continue to talk a
if
little bit.
Kosa
during
was
the
even
action.
in the mix, why wasn't he brought up at the end of the year for a cup of coffee, so to speak, to see what he's got?
Maybe now we know why he wasn't with his performance in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, swept.
Maybe we
got swept out
know now.
before.
Maybe, and he wasn't good.
No.
He was not good. Let's see. Sean Hockey Town. Duh. Yeah, of course. Free Little Caesars Pizza isn't a good enough incentive. Tammy said, if I was a top player, I wouldn't waste my good years in coming in here, and that's an extremely painful
very
word to say.
good
There you go.
Power play.
See what I'm saying? What were we doing? Anybody who thinks that there's rhyme or reason or flow to this series, I think you're out of your mind. And by the way, I'm going to call myself out because what did I tell you assholes earlier today? I don't think we're going to be here for Game 7.
Yep.
How could we count out this series going 7? How on earth could we do that?
Yep.
Look at that guy.
And all Bouchard did was threw the puck at the net. And
They
there's
got all three guys up. They got 1-on-2 down one.
bang.
Because all three guys are up high.
Yep.
On the top 10 bro.
Boy, Bobby who got over quick, too. Even with the quick hands
Yeah.
there. Tim Shovelday. They're playing second line players first. They're paying second line players first line money. Simple truth. You with Lucas Raymond and Mo Sider, in my mind, I think you did what you had to do with those young players. That is an investment. But if they are as good as you think they are, 4 or 5 years into the contract, it looks like a pretty good deal, right? I think you see that a little bit with Nick Suzuki. I think you see that a little bit with Cole Caulfield. Lane Hudson is certainly next in Montreal. It's the Dylan market. It is. Let's be honest. It's the Dylan market. That is, and here we go again because I hear it every gosh damn time we talk about it. I like the guy. I take him on my team. I think he's been overvalued and overpaid here. I have no other way to say that. I have no other way to say
It's
that.
the truth. I mean,
But isn't that the Red Wing way?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is this about hockey, grilling, or Edmonton music? A little bit of all. How's that? Can we do that? But I absolutely love that commercial. Like we've been talking about it with Honeymoon Suite. Feel it again with all the highlights from the Oilers in the 80s and that 90 Cup champion. Tammy said it sure isn't Kosa. I don't know how anybody could have confidence in him. Eric may have had one too many long drinks. Yes. Next up, McDavid. Eric, I'm a beer guy. Have a great night, guys. Game on. Thank you very much. We're going to get back to it in a second. Casper has to be blockbuster next year. There's another one that let's see. I like what I saw about him. Is there a next level there? I'm not ready to say that this is what Lucas Raymond is or this is what Mo Sider is, but let's be honest, the development that we thought would be there hasn't been there for either one of them. And that doesn't mean they're not good players. I think same thing. I think them both. But boy.
There's
Jeez.
Reinhardt. And here
Finally.
comes Reinhardt.
Not sure how you missed that
Yeah,
one.
it's
They're
the
complaining
same, it's
because
the
there's a
same shot.
No.
the collision with the referee in the corner kept the puck in.
Now I
What
got
are you
to
gonna
see
complain
this.
about? That shit happens. It's the same
Yep.
shot as fucking Verhaeghe.
All right, let's see.
Comes around.
Well,
Boom.
Tries to
So,
glove it out.
now hold on.
Verhaeghe
a second.
did-
Hold on a second. If we're gonna blame the fucking ref for a bad play,
Well, I'm not saying
I
it's a
mean,
bad
get
play.
the fuck out. He's had all day. The ref was there the whole time. It's the same shot off
Right
the
through his
post and
stick.
everything.
Yeah, right through his legs. High stick
I mean,
side.
that was all on Klingberg.
100%.
That's that forecheck.
100%.
That was Klingberg. That
Move
was
the puck.
36. That night. I
Yeah,
it was
36.
Jim said, Shona with his hate, Jason, please explain Sider's money and development after his rookie year. Jim, I've had this conversation with especially the guys at Woodward more times than you can shake a stick at. And as recent as February, I think they were adamantly disagreeing with me. And then at the end of the season, they had no choice but to agree with me. I think when you have a Calder trophy-winning season, and you looked as good as he did, it's disappointing to see he is what he is today. And I know that sounds crazy because, again, I'll take him. But let's be honest, and maybe this isn't his fault, but people were throwing the N-word around. People were throwing Norris Trophy around. Mm-hmm. And that's what the conversation that I had with people back in February, and I'm not going to name any names, they're guys I love. But that's what I said, find me one human being that would include that guy's name in any conversation about the Norris Trophy. Yeah. No way. No way.
You don't have to find one. It isn't. Exactly. It just isn't. And again, why do you hate Sider, Sean? It's not about that. It's just being realistic to what is there. And I, being you've had this conversation, his development hasn't taken that next step after the COVID.
No.
That's
No. It really
He
is.
has not gone up.
And I'll tell you what, the one that kind of surprises me, especially the way that he finished the season last year and the way he started this year, is Lucas Raymond. Lucas Raymond, I thought, looked like a guy that was gassed in the third week of February. Like after Four Nations, he looked gassed.
Him and Larkin both just went.
Right.
Larkin was a little banged up, but still, they both went to shit.
Yeah.
Weren't the same.
Yeah. That was unfortunate. Can you keep a straight face and mention Sider and Norris? No. Short side again. Eric, commando quotes. Yep. Casper, Raymond, Sider all take steps up next year. Would be great. That's if everything. Hold on. Let me just. That's as if everything with wings. Eric, you'll have to excuse my friend. He's dead tired. There's your commando quote. That's good. Thank you. People have been having the same delusions of grandeur about Larkin for years. It is an old bit at this point in time. Like if you can't accept that this is what he is, I don't know what to tell you. That doesn't mean that if an opportunity presented himself, he couldn't elevate his game in a playoff series or something like that. I think one would have to make the playoff first, but that doesn't mean that over a period of time he couldn't elevate his game. But if you're expecting a 1 seed, geez, Pete, if you're expecting a 1 seed during the course of a season, you're just not going to get it. Shauner just hates the wings, and that's okay.
It's okay.
I'll never win. I've accepted that a long time. All right, you guys ready to go?
Real quick, I haven't heard your take on this one. But the Checkers knocking out Laval. That was ugly.
Well, you know what? That was all jokes aside. It was Caden Primo had a really good year, and he picked the wrong time to have the bottom fall out of his game, especially with Jacob Fowler being there. And it's one of those things. To be honest with you, I know a lot of people are like, wait a second, maybe he should have been going all along too. So, I don't know how quick he is to get up to Montreal. I don't. Mm-hmm. I think they're in the position right now that Steve Eisen was kind of hoping that he would be in, where, oh gosh, wouldn't this be nice where we have an extra goalie that we might be able to move out to do something, you take a look at what he did with Tampa with first Ben Bishop, and he was able to move Ben Bishop on because his guy, the first round pick was ready to go in Vasilevsky. Augustine's going to be at Michigan State for at least 1 more year.
Give it to him.
2-0. Let's see.
Oh, man!
Absolutely froze his ass. Absolutely froze his ass.
Holy cow.
Jeez. How did that breakdown happen? I mean, that was legitimately a 2-0. Bennett was coming with speed, and so they let Bennett go. But what happened?
Right here.
Then he takes some
2 hits and turns around and goes.
All right, let's
and
see.
they take Draisaitl down right there.
Let's see.
Oh, he got way out of position.
Turnover
right
there.
It is. And Bennett had the speed. Yep.
It was the same guy.
Watch that deep. Watch that
It was
deep.
the same guy he hit.
Yee.
It was 92. Turned it over.
Yikes.
Yeah. Now, you can say Ekholm was out of position. You can't turn that puck over.
No, hell no.
He was going to a spot. He was going to a spot.
Does Danielson come up next year? I would think so. I would think so. I would think so.
You don't want to leave him into that great development place of Grand Rapids?
Come on.
But he's another one, right? I can talk about Nygaard, I can talk about ASP, I can talk about Danielson, but I think a lot of Red Wing fans, not all of them, a lot of Red Wing fans want to put the cart in front of the horse and bestow upon them greatness or these visions of grandeur, and it hasn't worked out so far. There's no other way to say that. And it's not being a hater. Jason, I know you're having fun.
They haven't
That's just
made
the way
that next
things
step
are.
to get up there.
Nope. Let's see. Anything else before we get out of here? Oh, hell, make the girl on the glass jump some more. That's nice. Yes, you were one and forever bonded by That's Okay. Jim said, I hope you guys are watching Sportsnet. No, we left it on TNT. And I'll tell you why we left it on TNT, Jim, because TNT's pregame show is so much infinitely better than Sportsnet's. I never thought in a million years I would say that, but that's the truth.
Even their game one intro was better.
I've never thought in a million years. I was one of those snobby guys forever, and I'm sorry. You know, Jim, we've talked about it. I think CBC's pregame and intermission stuff is just less than.
The one thing that sucked was we saw today with the rookie club, the guys coming and getting ready to get drafted. That's when Don Cherry's thing was.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Bit. Great bit. Yeah. All right. Anything else before we get out of here? Any thoughts?
No.
All right. God bless you all. I think we're going to do. Did we figure out we're going to do beef short ribs on Thursday?
Sausage.
You're never going to. Yeah, we're actually doing sausage. We'll see you guys. Enjoy the rest of the game. Talk to you again Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, I don't know.
And then Saturday.
Thursday.
And this thing's going 7. Let's just all buckle up for it, right? Although Florida might now be flipping it the other way. See
I'm
you
not
guys.
saying a word.
Have a great
We'll
evening. We'll see you. Bye-bye. God bless you. Bye and bye.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.